Welcome, Taurus and Taurus cross watchers, to your reading for singles and new love. We will have the new love time stamped at the end. But just to let you know, I am probably going to split this one up into two reads moving forward. One will be singles, and then another one will be new love. So, with that said, we have the Hierophant reversed here for what's in your headspace. And I was just kind of feeling when this card came out that it's almost like you can feel a shift in the wind, right? It's like you can feel that something is big is about to change. It doesn't feel like it's ominous. It doesn't feel like it's good. It's just like you can feel a disturbance in the force. And you know that it's coming, but you know that it's not close enough for you to be able to see what it is. It's like it's not close enough that there's signs that are going to give you any information just yet. It feels like the type of energy that's making you kind of want to sequester yourself. It feels like it's almost like, just bear with me with this explanation. You know, when you are at, let's say you're at someone's party and the couple that, you know, whose place everyone is at, they start to like get into it a little bit and they start arguing and you're looking at it and you're thinking, you know, it seems like this is a small argument, but that looks like it's going to get out of control real fast because you can tell by certain ways that one of them is saying things that there's a lot more going on under the surface. And it's almost like you're kind of frozen in time for a second while you're watching it, watching to see. It feels like there's shock, there's a draw to watch it at first. And then the more you see it, the more you're like, oh, oh no. It just feels like, I'm not trying to be a jerk about that, okay? It just feels like you're looking at it thinking like, this is why I don't leave my house. And of course that may not be the actual situation, right? But it's that type of an energy. So it also feels like there may be elements of whatever's going on that actually make you feel like you know, whatever this shift in the wind is, it's almost like you kind of don't want to know. It feels like you're looking at it like, you know, I think I'm just gonna go over here and enjoy some sun by myself. Like it just feels very, I don't know how to say this, not like avoidance. It feels more like you're kind of cherishing yourself by getting out of there before, you know, the proverbial shiz hits the fan, you know? So what's on Taurus's mind? What's on Taurus's mind? So we have the Three of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, and Ten of Pentacles all reversed. Hold on. So I actually feel like you're going to be able to, I feel like, okay, let me try that sentence over again. It actually feels like you're going to be taking some elements from where you've kind of been emotionally in the recent past. It's almost like at one point in time, you may have felt that you had absolutely everything that you needed. It was almost this like blissful state. And I feel like you may have been really like connected to a higher power and really felt like you were in it. You know what I mean? Like you were ensconced in it. And I feel like there was something really fiery that kind of brought you, or proverbially speaking, obviously, right? That made you feel like you kind of got brought back down to earth. And it's almost like, whereas before you may have been in an energy where you felt that there was just like, it's almost like it was too much energy coming at you. It feels like all of a sudden you're able to combine everything that you have absorbed lately. And it's like all of a sudden you're able to like zero in on how to put all the pieces together. I might sound really strange in this reading. I apologize if I do, but I'm gonna just go with what I'm feeling. Anyway, sorry. um, it just feels like you're, it feels like things that you may have missed before in certain interactions, it's almost like they're highlighted now. You know, sometimes in the movies they will like go slow-mo and they'll highlight part of someone's face so that you can see, you know, so it's like it's unavoidable to notice that this person feels some type of way. It's almost like that's kind of you're living your life in a video game, it feels, but it's more because you're able to kind of look around and actually see everything that's valid, and you're able to like, it's almost like all the stuff that really isn't important has turned gray. It feels like, you know how sometimes when you learn a new skill or you learn about something new, and then um, you really get into it, right? And you start to like really kind of bring it in. It's almost like you may have done that with a few things in the past, but I feel like now you're able to bring it all together. Excuse me. Excuse me. Um, I feel like you're a little suspicious of it because it feels like it's almost like this seems a little too good to be true. It's a little too easy. And not that, of course, you know, every element of your life is easy. This is still reality. Um, but it just feels like you're feeling really settled in. And it's like, and you don't have to answer to anybody. You know what I mean? You don't have to dance around, and not that you were before that you ever would, right? But it's like there's no pressure for you to be this or that at any point in time. I'm almost seeing you like eating a bowl of food, something with like a bathrobe on, and you're sitting there just kind of giggling to yourself because it just feels so freaking good, right? So it's like there still is this really gorgeous energy around you, but what you need to feel that energy, it's no longer this overflow of anything, right? It's more, it's you've zeroed in on the things that really make you feel good. And it feels like it takes it's almost like it's like a minimalist approach. I mean, obviously it may not be that actual thing, but it's that type of a difference. Whoops. Okay. Okay. Didn't even get to ask the question, so we'll keep going. So what is supporting? Okay. So we have the Mother of Cups. There it is again, eh? We have the King of Wands. I think it was here. Yeah. We have the King of Wands here as well. So the King of Wands is the type of energy where I feel like there's somebody here that has your back. And I feel like at one point in time, you may have pushed them away a bit. It doesn't feel like you did it because like, you know, if you or something like that. It feels more that you did it because it's like you didn't see yourself as needing their help. And maybe you still don't, but it's almost like, but it sure is nice. You know what I mean? I feel like some of you might have this epiphany where it's like maybe someone has been like trying to knock on the door to get into your life. Um, and I was just about to say, like, wouldn't it be so creepy if someone actually heard a knock? Anyway, um, I feel like someone has been trying to kind of make their way into your life, and there's something about what's going on with you here that actually seems to, it's almost like you feel so good with everything that you have, and it doesn't need to be this huge surplus of stuff that you think like, ah, you know what, I think I'll let that person in. Um, and I almost said that it's like um, when she's in Big Bang Theory, when she's in the online game, and then she goes like in a date in the online world with Howard, and then freaks out and closes the laptop, and she's like, "Oh my God, I need help." Um, it feels like it's almost like I don't think you ever felt that way. but you may have wanted to give off a certain air of feeling that way. Not to be mean to this person necessarily, but more, it's almost like you kind of weren't ready. You weren't ready to let them in. So you pushed them away like that. And I feel like they're still here. And I feel like this person is crazy attractive. I feel like the physical sort of chemistry energy coming off of this one, it feels like it's pretty potent, if you will. I feel like there's a little bit of encouragement that it's important that because you are in this really gorgeous energy, that if you do let this person in, that you don't allow the gorgeous energy that you're in to cloud your judgment about this person. It feels like there's somebody that needs to, I don't like saying this about another human, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's almost like they seem to need somebody that is always trying to push them away. For some reason, that's what they like. They like having something to chase. And there's something about you because you're not just, handing it out like popsicles on a hot summer day. I don't know where I'm getting these snarky remarks. I apologize. There's something about you that seems very elusive that this person is like, that they're kind of all about, It's like going back to that, you're sitting in your robe, on the couch and you're eating and you're just kind of giggling to yourself. I feel like this is the kind of person that it's like if someone did knock on the door, they'd answer the door and be like, no, Taurus can't come. No, they don't want to. They're fine. And not that they're answering for you, but it's more like they would do that so you don't have to. And it's like, and they would, what's interesting is it wouldn't feel like a burden. It's something that they would kind of really enjoy doing. There's an element about it that makes them really proud to have you. You know what it feels like? It feels like the type of person, like maybe you don't let a lot of people in, but you let this person in. And it's like, it feels like the kind of person that, or like the kind of energy here when, when something happens and you can see that someone is just kind of like beaming or their chest is about to like burst with pride. You know what I mean? Like it just feels like they're, I was about to say it's really validating, but it's not like they were looking for validation from you, right? It just feels more that it's like, it makes them feel so special that you've allowed them in. And they're happy to represent that special outwardly. Anyway, I feel like I'm rambling. So, oh my God, I'm sorry. Can we get what is coming up for Taurus? What's coming up for Taurus that they don't see but they can feel? What do they need to know about that? Well, so we have the Hanged Man reversed, which what? Hold on. Like, so there, of course, is the traditional meaning of the Hanged Man where you're stopping, waiting, getting a different perspective, getting more information. But it is reversed. It feels like somebody might be... It's almost like your person might have somebody that's... I'm not saying this to be foreboding or to creep anybody out. It just feels like your person might have somebody that's kind of like stalking them online or something like that. It feels like it's totally unrelated to this, to you and them or their past connections or something. It's almost like if your person is like a online personality, they have a big following on one of the social media outlets. It feels like they've done something like either, I can't quite feel into when they did it, but it feels like this person did something that really made somebody mad. It doesn't feel like the kind of person that's going to, strike right away. It feels like somebody that kind of holds on to that type of stuff. What's interesting is there's that type of energy about it, but it's almost like the reason it's such a problem is because it makes this other person feel left out. It makes them feel like, well, like, why not me? And it doesn't feel like it's a romantic partner. It just feels more that it's like a friend that feels left out. So it could be someone that maybe they have, lost touch with, sort of thing. And this person has now started, creeping on their page and that sort of stuff. So that's why I said, like, I don't want to stress the stalker thing, right? There's no point in causing that kind of, whatever, if it's not warranted. It feels actually that this person is they feel really vulnerable, but it's like, but they only feel that way because they feel that way. It feels like there actually isn't much to it. It's almost like this person seems to get a little bit funny like that when this Father or King of Wands gets attention from other people, or gets more attention, like more likes or more shares or whatever it is online than they do. It makes them feel really insecure. They've always seen this King of Wands as someone that's better than them. And it's like they seem to feel that every time they feel that they're measuring up to who they know the King of Wands to be, there's something else that they find out about this King of Wands that they're like, ah, damn it. So how does that relate to? So just going back to that, like, you can feel a shift in the wind. I feel like whatever is big that's happening, it's not happening to you. It happens around you. It feels like it's kind of a defining moment in terms of how you see this person based off of how they handle it. And it doesn't feel like you need like any encouragement or anything to look at that situation properly. I feel like when it happens, you're going to be looking at it pretty closely anyway. So what's in the recent past for Taurus? And then we'll start. There you are. So we have the Eight of Cups at the bottom of the deck here with the Empress, which of course is your card, right? So just a second here. I feel like it just kind of goes back to what these cards were talking about up here, that it's like, you know how some areas of the world have like 6 months of all light and it never, like there is a nighttime, but it never gets dark. It just feels like you may have been in the long night, but there was something really gorgeous that grew within you that you've now cultivated, right? It just feels like the same energy is up here. So I'm not going to repeat myself because I've already feel like I've been long-winded. So it just kind of feels like whatever ends up happening that's a little bit like, oh, what's going to happen here? It feels like there may be something about it that makes you a little bit nervous, but it's not going to affect you directly. So from this Mystic Mondays deck, we're going to get the next love interest. And I want to be clear, okay, it's the next love interest that's interested in you. That may or may not mean that you're interested in them, and it may or may not mean that something happens between the two of you, right? That's up to the two of you. It's just the next person. So Taurus Sun. Taurus Sun. Oh, dang. So we have the Justice and the Three of Swords. One sec here. I feel like this is somebody that makes a lot of jokes about the sadness in their life. You know how like Some people will do that to make light of things or to cope with things. And I feel like this person, it's almost like they seem to be a little bit too open about their trauma because they joke about it so often. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. It just feels like I'm apologize. I just downed a bowl of spaghetti and I obviously ate it too fast. So I apologize if that was gross if you were listening in headphones. Anyway, I feel like with this combination, they wear their heart on their sleeve. And it also feels that I feel like you kind of give them a test here. Not, like you're testing, like you're testing to see how far you can push them or something, cruel like that. It feels more that you test the waters with this person. I feel like it's almost like some of the stories that they tell or some of the jokes that they make, you're looking at them like, you know what? Based off your stories, I can't tell who was more like, it seems to make you look at them like you're not sure if they were the bad guy or if the other person was. And of course, it may be 50-50, right? But it just feels like there's some things that they say that makes you look at them and be like, that doesn't sound like that's true. It just feels like, not that they embellished the story. It feels more that you're looking at them wondering if they have flipped the narrative to make themselves look good and the other person look bad. But it's like at the same time, it would be confusing if that's the case because I feel like sometimes they're honest about the fact that they were the bad guy. It does feel like this is somebody that you do want to get to know better. I'm going to be honest. Let's see what the bottom of the deck has. Oh, the Fool at the bottom. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was kind of feeling that you maybe aren't ready to move towards this person, but there's something about them that you don't want to look away from either. So I feel like that's where the test comes in, right? Where you're trying to see when and where their honesty is present, if that makes sense. So for those of you with your moon, in Taurus, okay, that actually just fell right over the side of my desk. So I'm going to take my headphones off for a second and I will be right back. 1 second. Sorry. Apologies, Taurus. I don't think I've actually ever done that. So we have the 10 of Cups and the Princess. The 10 is the one that fell and the Princess is here. Taurus, it feels like this person talks in riddles. I feel like there's somebody that they feel like there's someone that talks. I mean, listen, this may not be the actual situation, but they feel like they talk really fast. It feels like what's interesting is it's like they talk fast because they don't believe that they can explain things well. So it's like they're just trying to say everything all at once, or they're trying to explain it in a lot of different ways so that people understand them, because I feel like they've been blamed for a lot of misunderstandings and they took that blame, whether it was well-deserved or not. And I feel like your energy for them is absolutely gorgeous. It feels like it's like you're sitting in front of somebody who has clearly been forced to explain themselves over and over and over again for people and has, had to take the blame and all that sort of stuff. And I feel like you're just sitting there and you're just letting them talk instead of trying to interject, trying to fix, trying to change, trying to anything. You're just there with them and you kind of allow them to be. And it's almost like if this wheel was, we're going to call this a wheel, okay? If this wheel was spinning really fast because they just keep talking and they kind of can't get it out, it's almost like this person, it's not a comparison, but I don't remember the English word. It's like, I I want to say allegory, but I know that that's not right. But it's one of those like a euphemism or something, one of those complicated words. Anyway, I can't think of it right now. I apologize. Um, but it's like it was spinning really, really fast. So this person is this carnival ride that's like it's the Ferris wheel, but it's it's whipping around and around and around and around, and it's got the momentum so it can't even stop now that even if the power is off. And I feel like there's something about your energy that is so um like steady that it's almost like you'll hear that kind of a sigh from this person because it's like it's the first time. It's like maybe they've been forced to explain themselves, but they get cut off all the time because people just jump to conclusions, whereas you allow them to actually finish a whole sentence. And I feel like it's the first time they've had somebody actually listen to them. And it'll feel like they've got this huge weight off their chest. And I feel like to you, it's almost like this is just how normal humans treat each other. And it'll almost seem, it feels like to you, it feels like a bit tragic that that's been this person's experience for this long. I'm going to be honest. I feel like this person is super attracted to you. I'm not so sure you will even pick up on it. It's more like they may feel that you're super into them because you're actually paying attention to what they're saying. But because that's how you treat normal, you treat people, not normal, but how you treat people. Sorry, how you normally treat people. There we go. I'm not so sure that that's the message that you were even intending to send. So for those of you with a Taurus rising, so we have, the Knight of Pentacles and Queen of Wands. Dang. Excuse me. Excuse me. So Taurus. Oh, this person wants your attention, and they feel like the type of person that would like make a lot of noise to get your attention, stomp their feet. You know what I mean? It's almost like this may be the type of person that if they came home from work and you were reading a book or you were otherwise, occupied, I feel like they'd come into the room and like smack the door frame or the wall or something and be like, "Excuse me. I'm here." Like, and what's interesting is that they do seem a little bit, I'll be honest here, it feels a little bit selfish, a little bit, with that spoiled. So, however that word is. I don't really like that word itself. But that's what I'm gonna say. They do feel, it feels like the type of person that, I'm not saying all only children are like this, okay? But it feels like the type of person where like they were the only child and and all the energy was on them. And it's like, even with all the energy that they were given, they still wanted more. It's like it was never enough. And so I feel like this person may actually feel, it feels like they may feel draining to you. And it's almost like they may have just felt for a time, or it's been their experience that that's just how relationships are until they realize how much it's draining you. Until they realize that it's making you want to like give them the cold shoulder. And it's like when they realize that, that's when you'll see their energy soften towards you. Oh my God, it's been 30 minutes. I'm so sorry, guys. I was trying to keep these in like the 20-minute mark. Taurus Venus. Hold on for a sec. We have the High Priestess here. I think there's going to be something about this person that is like uber attractive to you. It feels like they have the type of energy, you know how the cards were saying, if you haven't listened to the whole read, it was saying that like you've really evolved here. I feel like this person is, it's almost like either they're light years ahead of you in terms of that, or like not ahead of you, but they passed the stage of evolution like a while ago, or it feels like they might be in this one where you felt like you had absolutely everything that you needed and life was just so wonderful, and it's like they seem to have locked themselves in place there. I feel like this might be somebody that likes to say that they have a special connection, that they know things when they don't. It feels more that it's like instead of them telling people the truth about what they feel what these people want to hear and then tell them that. Right? So it's like they know what the truth is, but they kind of distort it a little bit because they want people to keep coming back to them. They want people to keep like, how do I say this? They want to keep attracting people to them. So it's like, well, they do have this gift. They, it feels like they're subconsciously doing it. So let's, you know, but it feels like they are subconsciously rearranging certain elements of things to present information in a way that is, that they feel is going to get them the least amount of hostility. So, Taurus, I think I will leave it there. If you've made it to the end of the read, I thank you so much for being here. I love you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we will see you on the next one. Much love. Bye.